We're there now. Let's see. Yeah, we're there. We're
So,
there.
Hey.
guys, we are live.
All right, run it
Had,
back. Redo it. Redo it.
had
Everybody
a
go
couple of
back.
All right, well, let's
hiccups.
try that again.
Had some hiccups. Welcome to College Saturday College Pick'em Show 2025. Happy to be back, guys. We had a little hiccup last year with Hurricane Helene. It kind of shut us down for a little bit with losing internet and people kind of losing power for a bit. So, but we're back at it. Hopefully, we could, keep this thing going and going strong.
That's right.
Logan, share us your update. What's happening this Sunday?
So Sunday, me and Will are actually heading up to Atlanta to see Carolina see and take down Virginia Tech. So
Yes,
super
sir.
excited about that. I know we just actually turned on our live, but we're excited for college football to be back.
That's
So
right.
excited just to be in front of camera for all of you who are watching. So can't wait.
Yeah, so the spread on that, it's only 7.5 points. How you feel about that?
I know that's crazy, but yeah,
They
I was
stay
gonna be
watching.
hating on us
wild.
early.
Go ahead, sorry.
I just said they stay hating on us early. We
Yeah,
like
I
it.
mean, I know we start off slow. You definitely see that last year as we started off pretty slow beginning of the year. But I mean, I think Sellers is ready. I think he's ready for the task. I think he's had a lot of hype, had a lot of really just time to just know that he's got a lot on his shoulders and he's gonna have to step up in a big way and hopefully he does. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, but we can get into that in a little bit. For now,
that's right. That's right.
let's jump right into our quick picks. Start of the year. Starting off, first pick of the year, quick pick. Marshall going into Stanford Stadium. Stanford Stadium, taking on the Bulldogs. Georgia is a 38.5 point favorite. Honestly, I don't even think that's enough. But I'll turn it over to Preston. What you got for us, man?
Man, listen. Obviously, that's an easy pick, Georgia all the way. But I'm little. I don't know if you remember this, but Gunnar Stockton was once a USC commit, and decommitted, and once Muschamp left and went to Georgia. Kind of followed Muschamp over there. A little salty with that situation, but guess what? We got Sellers, which is the better quarterback of the two, and so I'm happy with that situation. Happy that Sellers is our guy. Happy that he stayed at Carolina when he had opportunities to go elsewhere. Um, he's a lot of favorites for Heisman picks. But anyways, getting back to Georgia, I
He's
picked
so
Georgia.
excited for Carolina.
Yeah, I picked Georgia. Last time I was looking at the first team All Americans for the SEC, Georgia probably had six between offense and defense, which is pretty good. So I think they're going to have.
Yeah,
I think quarterbacks are their biggest question mark, but I think the rest of the team is pretty solid. So Georgia all the way,
yeah, absolutely. Well,
probably 30-point difference.
Yeah, I think this one's pretty simple. Just gonna clearly state rolling with my boy Luke Henderson this week, and gonna say the dogs are gonna roll.
yeah,
So
yeah, absolutely. Easy pick for me. Georgia is definitely gonna topple over Marshall. I actually saw something that was hilarious on Facebook today, saying that Georgia's on upset watch. That is very comical to me. But
wow.
Georgia for me. Rolling on to our next quick pick, we have number 8 Alabama going down to Tallahassee, taking on Florida State. This one, Bama is a 14.5 point favorite. Um, Again, I don't think that's enough. I'll take this one as my next quick pick. Bama all the way. Florida State is an absolute miserable team right now. Miserable fan base. I think it's going to be an ugly one. So give me Bama.
Yeah, I mean, man, like I have all the hopes in the world for Florida State to turn the program around, but I think it's just too soon, especially after last year. And there's a lot of experts out there, analysts that are picking Bama to win the SEC over Texas just because of the amount of returners they had come back and how well they did in the transfer portal. I think their biggest question mark is quarterback, like almost the entire SEC. I mean, I think the only returning starting quarterbacks are DJ Lagway, Lenore Sellers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's it. I think
Nuss.
In
that's
the
it.
SEC,
In the SEC, yeah.
Garrett Nussmeyer,
Yeah,
Nussmeyer.
Nuss.
That's
Yeah,
the big
Nuss.
one.
Marcel
Yeah, my bad.
Reed.
Yeah,
There's
and
a bunch.
Texas A&M. Yeah, but there is a ton. That was kind of what I was getting to. There is a ton of new quarterbacks in the SEC on, say, the top tier teams. You know, you got Arch, which Arch, there's a lot of hype around Arch, but Arch hasn't really done anything yet. He hasn't really. He even said that himself. He's
Mhm.
like, I'm a Heisman candidate. How? I haven't proven myself. So,
Right.
back to the pick. Alabama. I think Alabama has too many good players. They're stacked. They're 2 or 3 deep, offense and defense. Question mark at quarterback, but I think in recent years, who has really been a good Alabama quarterback? I mean, they just have enough good players around them that they just get by. So, Alabama. You know, sorry, John. Sorry, Tyler. I think Alabama's going to win. So,
Yeah, I definitely think this is a very lopsided matchup. Florida State just really is not the more talented team, and obviously all they've done so far is run their mouth, and I don't think it's going to benefit them so far, especially
Mm.
with that quarterback. I mean, he couldn't even produce at Boston College. What makes us think he's going to go to Florida State and do well? So I like Bama. I think they're going to be a college football playoff team this year. I think they're a 9-3 college football playoff team. Clock it. I think there'll be a 9-3 college football playoff team this year. But I'm gonna go Bama, and I'm gonna hammer that line for the 14 and a half, whatever it is. Hammer it.
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, definitely
I
agree.
agree.
We'll
Yeah, I
take
agree.
sweep all the way around. Last quick pick of the first week of college football. We have Syracuse going Knoxville, taking on number 24 Tennessee. Tennessee is another 2 touchdown favorite here, 13.5 point favorite over Syracuse. What you got for us, Will, on Syracuse, Tennessee? Just getting settled over
Yeah.
there.
I like what Syracuse brings. I do think they're gonna have a middle of the road year. I got them at 6-6 this year. I don't have Tennessee much better, 7-5. I have Tennessee this year, but I think Tennessee's able to get it done. I think their fans travel really well. It's closer to home, and uh, I think they're the more talented team in this matchup. So Tennessee.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just like I said, I think the SEC is pretty loaded this year. I think out of there's been talks of Big Ten being pretty strong, and even the Big 12. We've got a lot of transfer portal additions like Texas Tech and Arizona State and all that. But I think the SEC is going to be pretty dominant this year. I like Tennessee going into this one. I think Syracuse had a good year last year, actually. If I'm not mistaken, which I probably am, didn't they give us the opportunity to make the playoff by getting that win late in the year? Didn't they beat a fringe team that was like a 2-loss team? They allowed us to get
Syracuse beat Miami. That's what it was.
okay, yeah,
Mhm.
and that was their third loss, so it gave us the upper hand and
Yep.
hopefuls for the college football playoff. We all know how that happened and didn't work out in our favor. But yeah,
That's
I'll
right.
take Tennessee. I think Tennessee's gonna be pretty strong offensively and defensively. Quarterbacks, big question. They lost Nico to UCLA. That's a stunner. Kind of blows my mind, but anyways, yeah, Tennessee. I take Tennessee in that one. So
Good deal.
All right. Well, that concludes our quick picks for week one of college football pick'em. But now we have a special week one segment. We're going to take it up to conference predictions. We're going to go through our main four conferences in college football. And we're each going to predict who's going to be the winner. So let's start with. Go ahead, Preston. What you got for the main four?
all right, so let's do this. Shout out, no free shout out to my boys at Busting with the Boys and Josh Pate. They kind of went to the same segment. I liked the segment. I thought it brought a lot of value on predictions for the year, and so kind of brings some light into what's going around in college football. SEC, um, I think that the obvious answer is Texas. I don't know if that's going to be the way it folds out. A lot of experts had Alabama. Most had Texas. I think I'm going to stick with Texas for that one. I think Arch is going to be the better quarterback between them and Alabama. I think Alabama will have a good roster as well, but I think Texas has the upper hand here. Has a lot of returning starters. Has a lot of transfer portal additions. They're just going to be stacked. We'll find out tomorrow night when they play, or tomorrow during the day when they play Ohio State. I'm going to go to the ACC. Obvious answer: Clemson. Clemson's probably one of the better Clemson teams they've had in a long time. A lot of experts and a lot of the analysts are picking Clemson to go pretty far. Some even got them to go into the national championship. Klubnik senior year, they got defensive line for Clemson is absolutely ridiculous. They are stacked on defensive line. Really good secondary. Offensive line's big. They're gonna be tough. They're gonna be a tough team this year. In the SEC, you don't really have much of that competition like you've had. Florida State's not really that much relevant anymore. I mean, I do see them getting back to dominance, sooner than later. North Carolina, Belichick hasn't really done much yet. It's a new system for him going from pros to the college level. I like Clemson. I like Clemson. I think Miami is probably the second best team in the SEC. I think Carson Beck is going to have more options than he had at Georgia as far as wide receiver. I think wide receiver was a big Achilles heel for Georgia last year. Beck didn't have much to throw to, and I think Miami has a better receiving core than he had at Georgia. Better secondary than they've had, but I still think Clemson's a better team. Big Ten, that's the good one. That's the juicy one because there's a lot of people like Penn State, a lot of people like Ohio State, a lot of people like Oregon. Michigan's still a sneaky one in there. Nebraska's kind of sneaky with Matt Rhule in his third year. I think I'm going to lean towards Oregon and Dan Lanning. I think Dan Lanning is a phenomenal coach. I think Oregon's got so much talent up there. I think he's going to come out and he's going to win. He's going to win the Big Ten. I'm going to go Oregon that route. I think Ohio State just lost too much in the draft this year. They won the national championship. They lost almost every player on offense and defense. And so I think they're going to be good. I think they're just going to have a lot of time to figure it out, though. So as far as the last pick for the Big 12 is kind of a weird conference because you have so many unknowns, not relevant teams. You got Texas Tech, you got Baylor, you got Kansas State, you got Kansas. I think another big name in that running is Utah. Utah has been brought up a lot lately. I still like the Arizona State. I like Sam Levitt. I think him and that wide receiver, I can't think of his name, but he's pretty nasty. Both top tier picks in the draft. I think Levitt will go first or second round. This wide receiver I'm thinking of is really good. I think he'll be one of the top picks. I'm going to go Arizona State. I think they have a lot of momentum from last year. I know they lost Scatterbo. Scatterbo went to New York Giants. I got drafted by them. But I still think a lot of production will return to Arizona State. I like the coach down there. I'm going to go Arizona State. And so that's my conference champ picks for the big four conferences. Pac-12 doesn't count. Just doesn't. So I think little plug, Notre Dame, I think it's going to be really good. Marcus Freeman, to me, I think Marcus Freeman's my most, besides Beamer, is my favorite coach in college football. I think he's just a really, really good coach.
Not Dabo?
No.
Dabo was definitely your favorite last year, but
I do like Dabo. But I like Beamer and I like Freeman. After last year, I like Freeman. Freeman did a lot for Notre Dame last year. Very stout on the offensive defensive side. Kind of plays that old school football mentality. I like Freeman a lot. So
yeah.
All right, what you got for us, man?
Yeah. This year, I got a 11-1 Georgia team gonna face off against a really good 10-2 Texas team in the SEC championship. And I went back and forth over this one for a while. But I'm just gonna lean on who's been there, who's done that, and I'm gonna take the Dogs. I think they really reloaded the wide receiver room. They're always gonna be good at running back. Offensive line's always good, and Kirby's gonna have the defense humming, especially by that point in the season. I don't have them going super far in the playoff, but I do think they are good enough to win the SEC championship this year to go 12-1.
Nice.
For the ACC, I do have a 12-0 Clemson team. Believe it or not, that was a
Ooh.
tough one for me to call. I have my reasons behind it, and it all comes into the picture later on. We'll see how the season develops. But right now, I got them 12-0, and I got them facing off against an 11-1 SMU team. And the reason because of that is if you watch SMU's schedule, they don't really play a ton of hard games, any challenging games. They may have one or two. I think their one losses to Notre Dame I have on there. But other than that, they don't really play too many people. So I think it'll be a pretty easy route for them to get to the rematch. So I do have two rematches from the conference championships from last year. And obviously, I'm going to have Clemson rolling over SMU once they finally play a real team. I think the defensive line at Clemson and Peter Woods and TJ Parker is dominant. I think their DBs are so good. The receivers are young and explosive. I'm still not like a lover of Cade Klubnik. I was a big hater on him last year, but he's proved me wrong enough to say, hey, he can go lead the team. So I trust in Dabo and them. In the Big Ten, I'm a big believer in Penn State this year. I don't know why. I'm usually all about like Penn State's always good enough to be runner up and then lose first, second round in the college football playoff. But I have Penn State going far this year, boys. I got them going 12-0 in the regular season. I think they roll. I like all the receiver additions they had this year. I'm not huge on Drew Aller, but he's got enough weapons behind him, especially with the two guys in the backfield and Singleton and forget the other one. And the defense is always solid. I got them facing against an 11-1 Ohio State team. I think they're good enough. They just reload. They have so much talent. But I got Penn State beating Ohio State in that championship. I think Penn State's just really good this year. And then finish off, I got in the Big 12. I had an 11-1 Kansas State, but they lost the first game. I had them winning.
Yes,
So,
we did.
uh, so I got them going 10-2, but 10-2 still has them as the best record in the Big 12 for me. I got them facing off against a 9-3 Utah, and actually I have four 9-3 teams finishing for second in the Big 12 with Utah, Iowa State, BYU, and Arizona State. But Utah, when I went through all the tiebreakers, Utah won the tiebreaker. So I got Kansas State and Utah going. I like Kansas State for some reason. I think the biggest thing you saw in the loss for Kansas State in week 0 was their star running back got hurt on the opening kickoff. Like he played that one play and then didn't play. I think that took a dynamic away from them that they were missing in that game.
Yeah.
And when they get him back, it'll be a difference maker. So give me Kansas State in that one. And to your point, I have Notre Dame going 11-1 as well. So I think they'll be really good outside of that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like it.
Logan,
Well,
what you got?
there's definitely some good picks. I'm going to keep mine a little bit short. But, I mean, everybody knows who, we would want to pick for the SEC title. I just don't think it's our year. I think we have a lot of good weapons. But that being said, I think Texas is going to win it. It's Alabama in the championship is what I'm going to go with. Definitely going to be an interesting year for Alabama, but I think Texas is going to take over the SEC. For the Big Ten this year, just keep it simple. I think Ohio State's going to do it. I think they're, like Will said, I think they're going to reload and have another great year. So we'll see how that goes. ACC, pretty simple here. I don't know about what Will said with 12-0, but I could definitely see an 11-1 Clemson team taking the ACC. So I'm going to take Clemson there. And lastly, to round it out, I'm going to take Utah to win the Big 12. I think it's going to be an interesting year in that conference that we don't pay a whole lot of attention to during the season. But it's definitely going to be a great year of college football. I would not mind being wrong about the SEC championship. That's for sure. Would definitely not mind being wrong about that. But great picks there. We got one more special segment, and this is who do you think is going to win the Heisman? So go ahead and Will kick us off. Who do you think is our Heisman winner this year?
Gosh, I really didn't want to go first on this. I didn't learn about this till about 5 minutes before we came on the stream. Obviously my heart, really wants to go Lenore Sellers. I think he's got a great shot if he can just be consistent, put up the numbers. For the content, I think I'm going to lean away from Sellers just because I know one of you guys is going to pick him, probably two. So let's try to branch out. I'm going to go I'm gonna go a little risky here. I'm gonna go a dark horse. Maybe not a lot of people are thinking about. Look, give me Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame, the running back. I think he
Interesting.
put up a really good year last year. I think with the schedule they have, he has a chance to rush for well over 1,000 yards. I think he's got a chance to be explosive, and at Notre Dame, he always had the platform. So I'm gonna run with Jeremiah Love. Give me a risky pick. I didn't go too risky with my conference champions, so let's go. Let's go a little crazy.
Well, I will tell you this on the college pick'em show with Josh Pate and the Bussin' Boys, they also picked Taylor Lewan, picked Jeremiah Love as well.
Ooh,
So
look at
you're
there.
not too far off there. So
Hey,
I definitely think he's gonna be a baller this year. I think Notre Dame's offensive line is gonna be so stout. Like Josh Pate was talking about how they lost ones and twos and threes, and they were just plugging guys and they just missing beat. They're just like they're beefy, man. They're beefy on the front line and the defensive line on both sides of the ball. And so, good pick. I like that one. For me, it's tough. Like you got Arch, you got Nussmeyer, you got Lenoris, you got Love. Um, there could be some guy that comes out of nowhere. There's so many new players. Uh, Even wild card could be Carson Beck. Like he could go down to Miami and just have a year like Cam Ward did. I don't love Carson Beck. Yeah, I agree with you, but they're pretty high on Carson Beck, and so he could go down there and just destroy it. Because think about the level of competition he's going from and going to. Like he's really upgrading in wide receiver core and downgrading with competition. So I think he could have a good year. For me, I'm gonna go Norris. I think that's the easiest pick for me, just because of his talent. I think at one point last year he started creeping up into those Heisman predictions. Like he was probably top 10 at one point. Um, I think this year is kind of a make or break, and I think for him, his work ethic precedes everything. I think that shows. If you watch that show any given Saturday on Netflix, talks about follows the SEC schools, follows Carolina heavily. You can really kind of see the kind of character he has as a person, as a teammate, as a leader, and so I think he embodies all those things. And I think he's going to come out this year and just have a great year. I think what's really going to help him is having a better receiver core. I think that was a big question mark for him. Is can he throw the ball? Can he throw the deep ball? Can he? His completion percentage was still above 60%, I believe, but he didn't throw the ball as much as we like. And so oh shoot, my bad.
where'd he go?
I despaired, my bad.
Oh no!
Uh yeah. Lenoris is my guy. I like Lenoris.
Probably my fault.
No, you're good. I'm good with it though.
All right.
But Lenoris is my guy. I think he's going to come out. I think he's really going to upgrade for his receivers. I think he's got a lot of more guys to throw to. I think this year we're really going to see a lot of the guys step up, like Mazio, and we're going to see like Jared Brown, and we're going to see um, big guy coming out. Gosh,
Nick Harbor.
so Nick Stinking Harbor. I think this is his year. I think he is going to have a phenomenal year. We saw glimpses. Alabama game, made a phenomenal catch in the end zone. I think we're going to see a big year from Nick Harbor. Tons of freshmen, Donovan Murph, Brian Rowe, Smith, our tight end. I think he's going to have a good year. I think we have a lot of options for him, and then free
Yeah,
Sewell. We got Sewell back, so I think
that's right.
I think it's going to take a lot of attention off of Lenoris is what we need. I think they're going to have to game plan for two guys that could just explode and take off of the ball. And so I think we have an offense that's going to be to be dealt with. I think our defense is the biggest question. Not talking about that, talking about Lenoris, but I like Lenoris. It's my pick. Pass the ball, Logan. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good, man. Love the insight that you got for us. Just to read off a couple comments here, we got Justin Jones saying DJ Lagway for Heisman pick this year. He's definitely a contender. Definitely saw some good glimpses of him last year. Then also we got Matt McGowan, Zach Calzada. That is definitely
Well,
an interesting one.
that's a thought for
Will,
sure.
yeah, Yeah, that's definitely a thought. For my Heisman pick, I like how Will said, we don't want to play it safe, but honestly, I don't think Lenoris is a safe pick. I think the safest pick would be Archie.
Yeah,
I,
easily.
I yeah, I see Archie, but honestly, I'm gonna roll with Preston. I see Lenore's doing it this year. He's got the weapons. We've got the team. It's just his chance. It's this year or never. Honestly, I think we have so many weapons built around him for this year. I'm gonna take Sellers all day long. I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. I think the Clemson game that last offensive drive, I think that really opened the eyes to the entire country to see what our quarterback can do. So I'm excited for what Lenore Sellers is going to do this year. So give me Sellers, man.
Yeah, man, I love Sellers. I do, man. I think he's just the guy. But obviously, I think Arch, like you said, is probably going to be the favorite without
Yeah,
even playing a snap. I think it's already
right.
like handed to him on a platter. He just got to go and perform. And if you think about it,
So,
if you had Sellers and he had 5 offensive linemen that were 5 stars, 5-star wide
yeah,
receivers, 5-star running back, what do you think would happen? Like
yeah,
that's the
exactly.
difference
Yeah,
here. You the quality of players that are out of Texas and Carolina, not to downplay Carolina, because we take less and do better with less. That's our mo. Is
right.
like we take the guys nobody wants and we make them studs. D Knight for last year. D Knight was I don't even know where it came from. Some community college or Charlotte, right? UNC Charlotte. Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
think about that. UNC Charlotte to second round draft pick. Him and Emil Ward got drafted in the second round this year. Like, dude's a stud. Like, played out, played. He was a tremendous leader on our team and played like crazy. So, I'm with you
yep.
there on the Arch thing. So, yeah.
I will say this though, Garrett Nussmeier is overrated. Overrated. So
Uh, he's been in college football for like 8 years. So, I
I hope
mean,
Mandy's not watching this, but yeah. I don't
it's a
see it out of Nuss
possibility.
this year. Yeah,
I,
I don't. If they didn't pay off the refs in a Carolina game, he definitely looked a lot worse uh, than he did with potential 3 picks in our game. So yeah, definitely don't see him. But yeah, you can say I'm a homer showing my favoritism, but
no, he's
if you
talking
know
about
ball,
Manning.
you know ball. So,
He's talking
oh,
about Manning.
okay,
His last name being a Manning. I'm with you, Don. I'm
my
with
bad.
you.
Oh,
No, you're
okay,
good.
yeah,
I was thinking the same thing too, but I'm like, no, he's talking about Manning. So yeah, we're with you there,
oh,
man. I
okay, I
think I
see.
think Manning's
Yeah, yeah,
gonna be the favorite no matter what. So
yeah, yeah. I think so. So, but without further ado, let's move into our normal picks for our first week of the year. Got a lot of fun college football games coming at you this weekend. Some on Saturday, some on Sunday, but really excited for what this year is going to look like. So cannot wait with our first pick. Oh, there goes Will. Let's see. Well, Preston, it's just me and you, I guess.
he's back. He's back. He's back.
There he
I
is.
the sound on my side was starting to get a little glitchy, so I had to reset it. Sorry.
You're,
Cool.
you're good, dude. Just wanted to make sure you were here.
He
But
gone.
well, Preston, why don't you lead us off with our first pick of the year with Virginia Tech, taking on number 13 South Carolina in Atlanta on Sunday at 3 o'clock. South Carolina is a 7.5 point favorite as of today. So what you got, Preston?
Yeah, I think this is a really cool game, especially for Shane Beamer. His dad's a all-time legendary coach, Frank Beamer at Virginia Tech. I think there's a lot of nostalgia. I know Beamer played for Virginia Tech, coach at Virginia Tech, and I think there's a lot of good memories with Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech is in a state of where their entire team hit the transfer portal last year. I think they're definitely going to have a lot of holes to fill. Whether they fill those is to be seen. I think we've come out as Josh Pate was talking about this and Will Compton was talking about this on their show the other day. I know I referenced them a lot, but they're So some of my favorites, but just how in the past couple of years Carolina has started off slow. I think this is the year we break that trend. I think we come out strong. I think we play lights out. I think a lot of hype came with the free soul when Rasul Faison got approved from the NCAA to play this year. I think there's a lot of hype with that. I think it came at just the right time, and now they're going to be pumped up to get on that field and be able to just play ball together. I'm going to pick Carolina, and I'm going to pick them at a 21-point spread. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think we're just going to be the better team. We're going to have a better fan base that travels to Atlanta, 2 hours away, whereas Virginia Tech. I think it's going to be like a home game. Obviously, different atmosphere. I'd rather be at Williams-Brice because I feel like it'd be a tougher venue to play at. But I think it's going to be definitely a cool game to go to. Y'all guys are lucky, have fun. Glad y'all get to go. But I think it's going to be a great game to watch, and I think we're going to come out strong. I think Beamer's going to make a statement. So 21 points is what I'm predicting. So.
Yeah, Will, what you got?
Yeah, I think this one should be pretty simple. Carolina's a 70.9% chance of winning on ESPN. Virginia Tech is replacing both offensive and defensive coordinators. They lost 32 players to the transfer portal last year and had to bring 30 players in from the transfer portal. They're replacing a lot. The one guy they have is Kyron Jones, and I think he will keep them in the game for a little bit early. I think the defense will find its footing eventually, and the offense will be humming. I think the wide receiver room is going to form out pretty well. I think Harbor's going to have a good year after finally having a full off season of football. I think he's going to have more of kind of like a Xavier Legette year where he kind of didn't do much and then finally broke out, getting to be a guy. I've heard a lot of really good things out of Brian Rowe, the freshman receiver from Carolina.
He's a stud.
I would say the three freshman receivers to look for if you're going to be looking for a impact guy that you might not expect are Brian Rowe, Malik Clark, and Donovan Murph. I've heard a lot of good things out of camp about those three guys. Beamer said the other day that all the receivers will play on Sunday in some type of form. Most of them will be on special teams, but Michael Smith is really going to be a good young tight end. Sewell's there, but I like the running back room, Augustive, and I really like Matthew Fuller, who not a lot of people talk about, but I think he's got a lot of potential. And the defense is not going to be as good as it was last year, but they've got a lot of guys, especially the back end of the defense is solid. The DBs are all going to be locked down, and I think the linebacker room is going to surprise a lot of people this year. I'm going to respect Virginia Tech enough, but I do think Carolina's going to roll. Give me Carolina 34, Virginia Tech 17.
Yeah, that's a good pick. I like the score line you got set there. Definitely going to be a fun game to be at. Be a good first game that brings a lot of hype to the program. Again, you can call us homers, but this is one of those games for Carolina where you honestly we're the best on paper. We should be the best in this football game. If you've been a Carolina fan for a while, kind of like Preston said, that first game is always kind of nerve wracking. You never know what you're going to get. We got a lot of questions to answer. We got to answer the offensive line question. You got to answer the defensive question. Again, that's something that we're used to as Carolina fans. I feel like that's something that we're questioning every single year. But going back to our Heisman picks, I think Lenore Sellers is going to shine. He's pretty good on College Football 26. If anybody's played that go route, Nick Harbor goes crazy. But I think Carolina wins this one pretty big. I'll say maybe 35-7. But with that, we do have a special guest pick. He's been a host with us. I think we're going to see a lot of him this season. But with that, bring on Dustin. What's up, Dustin?
What
Man,
up,
what's going
boys?
on?
How we doing?
Man, so good to see you. If you don't know, Dustin actually moved away from the homeland. He moved to
pulled a
Jacksonville,
Wilbur.
Florida. Yeah, he pulled a Will. He moved away, moved to Jacksonville, Florida. He works for Church of 1122. Hopefully, we'll get Joby on here one day. But with that, I'll turn it over to you, Dustin. Carolina, Virginia Tech. What you got?
No doubt. Joby, Tebow, Purdy, whoever I can get, whatever. We'll see.
That's right. Yeah.
Hey, boys, good to be on. Good to hang out with some boys from Carolina for sure. I've been listening to you guys. I'm pretty close with probably Will. I'm thinking, honestly, Gamecocks 31-21. I think defense is going to be an adjustment this year just because we're replacing a lot of NFL talent. We have the talent. I think it's just a matter of gelling. So I think we'll see some weird week one just slip ups. But then the biggest question mark I have for our defense is, are we going to stop the run? And Virginia Tech is going to pound the run. They got some big backs. Their quarterback's big, just like Sellers. So they're not going to be afraid to ground and pound. But if we can get them to third down, Virginia Tech is one of the worst third down teams. So if we can stop the run, we got a shot. And then I'm really happy with our running back room. I think it's probably the least respected thing about Carolina this year. Everybody was like, "Oh, well, if they get Rasul, they'll be good." But no, like our running back room is stacked with size, speed, home run ability. So I think we'll do just fine. I think we'll cruise. I'm hoping Sellers doesn't have to flash too much this week. I hope it's very vanilla from Sellers, where it's just a controlled environment. He's well protected. But I think 31-21. I think it'll be a comfortable fourth quarter. So.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Hopefully, I think we'll still win the game, but hopefully we get comfortable enough. We can maybe see a couple guys, switch in and out. But definitely a good pick there, Dustin. Appreciate the Carolina love. So
Yeah, man.
we'll bring Dustin back on for our pick of the week a little later. Appreciate your call for Carolina, man. We'll see you in a little bit.
Yeah, man.
All right, back to the three. I appreciate Dustin with that guest pick. But moving on to our second pick of the week, we have number 6 Notre Dame taking on number 10 Miami. Notre Dame is a 2.5 point favorite. It's going to be an interesting game. These are two favorites in the ACC. Not the ACC. Sorry, Miami's a favorite in the ACC. You got a new quarterback in Carson Beck. I don't know how I like that fit in Miami. There were rumors it was just for his girlfriend, which is 100% true. Um, but Notre Dame has a killer Heisman candidate and their running back. So for this one, I think I'm going to roll with the favorite. I'm going to take Notre Dame in this one. I'm going to say 10 points for Notre Dame. Going to be a great game for them. But Preston, what you got?
Yeah, I agree. I think this game is gonna be one between the trenches. I think Notre Dame's just gonna line up and just bulldoze Miami. I think Miami's defense has always been the biggest question mark for them in the years past. They had the number one pick in all of college football last year with Cam Ward, first overall pick to the Tennessee Titans, and they couldn't get it done. And so I think defense is always the biggest question mark for them. So I think Notre Dame was going to recognize that. I think Marcus Freeman, like I said earlier in the show, is top tier coach in my opinion. Outside of Beamer, I think he does a lot with his program. I think his players respect him. I think um, the quarterback, I can't think of his name, but I think he's going to come out there and just be able to be a game manager. That's all you got to do. Go out there, be a game manager. Get Jeremiah Love the ball. Get between the trenches. Defense just steps up in a big way. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to get like a 21-17 type vibe, but I think Notre Dame rolls for this game. I think Miami is a good team. I think they will prove to kind of roll through the ACC, but obviously Clemson is a better team in the ACC. But I think Miami will have a better year. I think they have better additions through the portal on defense, and so that'll show up. But Notre Dame taken by 4-point spread. So,
Will?
Yeah, I think the addition of Carson Beck in Miami is interesting. I think he'll bring an element to them. I think they'll be pretty good this year. I think I got them going 9-3 or something on the year. But the one thing that I know is that in order to win, you have to be able to run the ball.
Yeah.
Who do I know can do that out of both teams? Notre Dame. And then what do they also say? Something about defense wins championships. I think Notre Dame's by far got the better defense in the game. I don't think it's going to be high scoring. I think it will be a close one, like the comment in the bottom says, Miami in a close one, but I'm going to have Notre Dame in a close one I'm going to take Notre Dame by a touchdown. I'm going to go 24-17.
Very nice. That's going to be a close one. Very good games this week. Our third pick this week takes us to another great game. We kind of bounce back and forth on our game of the week, but our third pick is going to be number 9 LSU going into the fake Death Valley up in the upstate, taking on number 4 Clemson. Clemson is a 4.5 point favorite. Will give us some insight on what that's going to look like.
Yeah, I think this is going to be probably the best, if not, well, between game of the week. It's going to be one of the 2 best games to watch, obviously. There's a lot of NFL talent on both teams. I think there is going to be a really hard fought battle. I think it's going to be a fourth quarter game. I really see this being a knockout, kind of grind out type. And in order for that, I like Clemson in it. Obviously, I already said they were going 12-0. I worry about LSU's offensive line. They lost 2 NFL first round caliber guys on the edges at tackle, and they're replacing a guard as well. I don't think Nussmeier is all that great. You saw him struggle even with a great offensive line last year. Their running back room did not really increase significantly through the portal or recruiting this year. It's kind of the same, and I wasn't very impressed with it that much last year. I think they'll be better on defense this year, but I think Clemson really is just going to be too much on the line for LSU with their offensive line struggles. I think they're going to have, I think TJ Parker and um, Peter Woods are going to kind of have their way with that line. So give me Clemson. I'm gonna take Clemson 27-21. I think it's gonna be my line there.
So that's a good pick, I think. This is definitely going to be a great game to watch. Even if you're just a fan of college football, if you hate both these teams, it doesn't matter. It's just going to be a fun game to watch to kick off the first week of college football. Like I said when I was talking about Heisman, I think Garrett Nussmeier is a little overrated. I think he's been a little overhyped. I think Clemson has one of the best quarterbacks, as much as it pains me to say. They have one of the best quarterbacks in Cade Klubnik with a lot of experience behind him. Obviously, they had a heartbreaker against Carolina last year, but I think Clemson is going to win this one. It's in Death Valley. If you've ever been or ever seen home team or home field advantage come to play, it's definitely going to happen in Death Valley and Clemson this Saturday. So give me Clemson by a field goal.
Wow.
So this pick is kind of close to home, as you could say. My wife's a big LSU
Yeah.
fan. My family's big LSU fans. They grew up, she grew up 15 minutes from the stadium in Baton Rouge, and so yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game. I really think this is gonna be one of the best games of the week. I think I think the talent levels are going to be pretty similar. I think offensive line for LSU is the biggest question. I think their defense is the best it's been in a while. They got that new defensive coordinator that's really kind of turned this defense around. They got Perkins back. They lost Perkins last year in the UCLA game. Perkins is supposed to be a top 10 pick. Nasty defensive end, just really good player. I think Clemson's line is really good too on the defensive side. I think it's going to come down to just turnovers. I think who's going to make the least mistakes. And I think, with time, we've seen LSU falter in the first game of the season. Turnovers has been one of the biggest issues. I don't know. It's a tough pick for me. Y'all both went Clemson. Will you go Clemson?
Yes, sir.
I'll go. I'll
went
take
Clemson.
LSU. I'll take LSU by field goal. I think it's gonna be down to the wire. I think it's gonna be a game of time management and turnover margin. And I think as far as quality of teams, I think these teams are neck and neck. I think it's going to come down to the wire. I'll take LSU by a field goal. I think it's really going to come down to that. I think Nussmeier is a really good quarterback. if you listen to Todd McShay, another plug out here, he was watching Nussmeier at the Manning Quarterback Academy, and he said he was just blown away. He said Klubnik was good, Sellers was really good. The guy from Oklahoma, John McTeer was really good, but he said Nussmeier was just on a different level. Just the way he handled himself, the way he approached the drills. He said he was just a pro in all aspects. And so I think it's going to come down to quarterback play. And I think, in my opinion, if I'm lining up Klubnik and Nussmeier side by side, I think Nussmeier has the edge because of experience. He's been I think this is his 6th year in college. I think he redshirted. He was injured 1 year, then he was redshirted 1 year. He almost left in the portal, but then came back before last year, and then he decided to come back 1 more year to kind of prove a point. I'm gonna go LSU. I think LSU in a close one in Death Valley. Go Tigers.
Yeah, I like it. It's not
For
a
sure.
not a bad pick. I think no matter what we said, who we think was going to win, I think the bottom line is it's going to be a close game. I mean, you took LSU by a field goal. I took Clemson by a field goal. I can't remember what Will said. I think he said maybe a touchdown.
Very close game. Very close game.
LSU by 6.
Okay, so we'll 6. So I think it's going to be a very close game, very entertaining game. But with all that said, let's move on to our last pick of the week. Our game of the week is going to be a big one. Definitely a awesome game to see week 1 with college football being back. It is number 1 Texas taking on number 3 Ohio State. Ohio State is a 1.5 point favorite to open the year against Texas. Definitely going to be an interesting one. Will, what you got for us?
Yeah, you said it has Ohio State as the favorite.
Yes, change.
Interesting. ESPN has Texas as the percentage wise to win. I was just curious. They could have it both ways.
They
You know how
do.
ESPN is.
They do have
sometimes.
it both ways. That's crazy.
But yeah, I think this is going to be a really, really good game. I think we're finally going to kind of find out who Arch Manning is. There's a lot of talk both ways, and I'm excited, no matter what happens, just to see what he brings. I think the talent around him will bail him out, even if he makes some mistakes. I think they're really good on the defensive side of the ball. They're obviously explosive from the receiver and the running back position. They're well coached, and Sark, like I said earlier, I think Ohio State's going to reload. They're obviously still have. No one mentioned him earlier, but Jeremiah Smith would probably, if I didn't go Jeremiah Love, I would have gone Jeremiah Smith for Heisman. I think he's the best receiver in college football, maybe the best player in college football. And they have Caleb Downs holding down at safety on the other side of the ball. I think I'm going to go with Ohio State in this one. I like the pedigree of they've been there. They're at home. I think it'll be a close one. I'm going to take Ohio State 31-28.
No defense will be played. I see.
I think there's a lot of defense, but I think there's some quirky things that happen in the game that drive up the score, maybe some special teams type things as well. So
Yeah. We got a comment from Justin Doan saying a high scoring game. Man, Texas will come out on top. I think it's a little bit of opposite of what Will said. Still a high scoring game, but I can definitely see that. But Preston, what you got for us, man?
Like I said, there's a lot of presuppositions coming into the game. Texas is loaded. They got the most money. Actually, take that back. Ohio State has the highest NIL value, which means they have the most money to go out and buy players with. I think their NIL value was in the 30s. They just go out and just buy a team every year. That's kind of been the MO. Same with Texas. I think Texas is right there with them as far as their NIL value. Texas, Michigan, I think there's top 3. Alabama. I think it comes down to who really has the better quarterback, and I think Arch is the better quarterback in this situation. This Saiyan kid, he's not a Super Saiyan; he's just a Saiyan. So I can't really go with him. He's not a Goku, but Yeah, I just it's gotta stick with Arch Manning. I think he's got the most talent surrounding him that has the most experience. Ohio State obviously lost a lot in the draft. Um, I think it's going to come down to um, the personnel that gels the quickest and has the most experience together. Who plays the best quarterback? Obviously, turnovers is an issue. I see this game being 34-20. I got Texas by 14, so. I think they're just the better
Wow.
team at this moment of time. I think eventually Ohio State will be there, but not right now.
I like it. All right, let's turn it over to our guest picker of the week again. Let's see what Dustin has to say about Texas versus Ohio State.
All right,
Dustin,
what up,
what you got
boys?
for
Back
us, man?
again. Dude, I've had a mixed bag of reviews from different people. I feel like Ohio State fans are sweating this game because it's 12 o'clock. I know it's a
Yeah.
home opener, but like Texas is no scrub, dude. Like they're the real deal. I think they got some money and talent all over the field. I do believe Archie is the better quarterback. I'm gonna go with Preston on that. I do think it's gonna be a high scoring game because I just don't think a whole lot of clean defense is going to be played. I think there's going to be some opportunistic defense, where some pick sixes
Wow.
Big
or
ones.
fumble returns, something like that. But at the end of the day, it's in the shoe, right? Like that's a hard environment to come in. If it was at night, I would feel good about it. 12 o'clock game it just catches everybody off guard. So
Yeah.
I feel
It's a
like home
terrible
field
time.
advantage go down a little bit of a noon game. So with that nod, I'm gonna go Texas. I'm gonna go lock 'em horns, dude. I think SEC versus Ohio State's always a pretty good formula. SEC seems to get now. Texas is fresh into SEC play here, but fun fact: Carolina's record for Ohio State is 2-0. So we're gonna bring that SEC swag up to Ohio. So
I
there you
like it.
go.
I like it. Texas is definitely a good pick there. Appreciate you coming on, kind of at a
Hey
moment's
man,
notice to be our guest picker. So
all good,
appreciate you,
brother.
man. A great picks tonight. We'll see how it turns out on Saturday and Sunday, man. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Go Cox.
Love you,
Yeah,
See
Toby.
y'all.
man. Later, bro.
Love y'all.
Hey,
All right. Last pick for me this week. Real quick. Who do y'all think Lee Corso is picking?
Ohio State for sure.
yeah, I mean, I don't know,
He
man.
started in Ohio State. He's gonna finish in Ohio State.
Exactly.
It's his favorite team almost
Yeah.
outside of Indiana.
Yeah,
So
that was my thought too.
Who's the
Just wanted to
guest?
get
Who's the
y'all
guest
take.
picker?
I
Is it
have
Matthew?
no
I don't think
idea.
they've announced it, have
Is it
they?
not? Is it Matthew McConaughey?
Not
No,
in
it's in
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State. It'll be an Ohio
Okay,
State person.
gotcha. All right, all right, all right.
There's no telling. But
He'll
for
be there though.
this
Oh yeah.
this game is going to have a lot of eyes on it. Probably going to be the most watched game for the first week of the season. Gosh, I'm still tossing this up until the point of now. Honestly, uh, Arch, he's a great quarterback. We've seen flashes, but I honestly don't know if he's fully proven. Um, but with that said, I think SEC ball is just going to take over this year. I think this year is going to be a SEC heavy. I think Texas is going to roll up to Ohio this Saturday, and I think they're going to win a close one, also high scoring game. I'm going to go game winning field goal, 31-28.
Close one. Close one.
So I think
Yeah,
it'll be a
I could.
close one.
Yeah, I can see it get down to nitty gritty at the very end.
I would be interested to see uh, Ohio State lose for Lee Corso's last pick. We'll see if
Oh,
they'll let that
Herbstreit's a big
happen.
Ohio
We'll see.
State guy too.
Yeah, yeah, it'll definitely be Ohio State heavy on game day tomorrow. But
Yeah.
yeah, I got
Mm-hmm.
Texas. We got 3 for Texas, 1 for Ohio State. So somebody has a chance to
I'm
rub it
ready
in
to
our
win the week,
face.
baby.
Yeah,
Come on.
somebody has a chance to rub it in our face.
Yeah,
But
one
great
thing we'll
shit.
do this year is
Yeah,
try to keep our records, and so we'll try to
yeah,
have that have a record ticker going across and try to hold us accountable. No, we're just not throwing
yeah,
names out there. We're going by analysis and our best judgment. So we'll
yeah.
we'll definitely roll with that. So
Absolutely. So, well, that concludes our show. It was an awesome show. So glad to be back. I think everybody could definitely say that. We have definitely missed college football. Definitely missed Saturday college football pick'em. So, any closing words, Preston?
Yeah, guys, remember, like, comment, and share. Like, do it for us, guys. Like, sharing this stream on Facebook allows it to reach new members that maybe we're not a part of, like our friend groups. I may have 300 friends. Will may have 300 friends that are different than my friends, and so each time we share that, we get a new audience that it's presented to. So, like, comment, share, do that for us, guys. We appreciate all the love. And tune in. Like, Fridays is going to be our thing, and just we'll keep it going, guys. We'll try to keep making some good content. Hopefully, we'll get a little better next week as far as like the stream goes and having it streamed on the right platforms at the right times. And so I don't think we hit Instagram this week, but I'll make sure that one's tagged next week. So we'll get it on all the major platforms. And thank you guys for tuning into us. And I'll pass it over to Will.
Yeah, man. Just excited for our first week of college football. Really going to enjoy taking my boy Logan for his birthday to Mercedes-Benz and watching the Gamecocks get a good first win. But just really looking forward to the season. I think there'll be a lot of fun things. Maybe we can come up with some new ideas and segments to make the show interesting. And we're just really looking forward to bringing a good product to you guys. We love college football and we love doing a show and just getting our ideas out there because it's fun to see the different thoughts and what's going into it. So really appreciate the boys letting me be a part, even though I'm still away. And we'll see how that goes in the near future. So
That's right. That's awesome. So yeah, just kind of
He's having a
piggyback off of
baby.
them. Oh God,
no,
that'd
no baby.
wow, that'd be insane that you told Preston before anybody else. But that's all right.
You know how it is.
But
Logan would
You know
kill
how
me.
it is.
yeah, but again, we're really excited to see what this college football season holds. Definitely going to be interesting. Definitely gonna see a lot of different things. I'm not just excited about Carolina football. I'm excited about just college football in general. Seeing how Arch does, honestly, it's going to be the most interesting part on Saturday. But yeah, excited.
Absolutely.
If y'all want to see anything specific out of us, you want to see a specific segment, you want to see us talk about a specific game, drop a comment, drop a message to us. We'd love to. Sorry, my wife just sent me a text. We would love to get some input from y'all. So excited for what this show has for us. Excited what we can do for y'all. But with that being said, that's our show. So love you guys. Think that's it. And as always, go Cox, man.
Go Cox.
Good
Hang
night, y'all.
loose, guys.
Yeah. Good night, y'all.
Night.
Life's nice.